Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're doing a little bit of an impromptu live today. Hope everybody's been having a great last week. I know it's been a little bit since I've been live. I know it feels like a while. I feel like it's been a week or so. I'll wait a few minutes, let some notifications click in. This is kind of a last minute impromptu kind of live. I didn't really have it scheduled, so a lot of you may not get any notifications. Some of you may already be up, awake, have a coffee. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's give it a minute and let some notifications click in. I'm sure a few people will hop in shortly. I know it's been a while since I've been live. Gina P, good morning. Nani, good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a great day. Beautiful Meg P, hello. Sorry it's been a while, guys. Sorry it's been a while, okay? A little bit of like a health setback there. After my surgery, I did not take enough time to heal, and it's okay. It's okay. Morning, everybody. Morning. Stella. Stella. That was the name of one of my cars. Her name was Stella. How you doing, Stella? Beach Babe, hello. Nene, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see everyone. Yeah, sorry it's been a while, friends. Sorry it's been a while. It is what it is. I don't share too much of my personal life, but I did have a surgery a few weeks back. I didn't let myself heal up. I didn't take enough time to heal, and I overdid it and accidentally caused another health problem. So it's fine. Everything's, okay. I've been taking it easy for the last week and trying not to do anything, but yeah, I kicked my own ass, and it is what it is. I've been making myself just do nothing, right? But it's actually good that I've done nothing, because I don't know about you guys, but um when I'm forced to stop, like when the universe forces me to slow down, it's actually when I get back in touch with my spirit self, right? My soul. So I don't know if that happens to any of you, but sometimes the universe is going to make you slow down, and I'm glad that it did. Mercy Cat, beautiful Mercy Cat. How are you, honey? I hope you got my text messages. I'm sorry it took me so long to respond to you. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my phone. It sends me text, but it doesn't send it to me for like ever. I don't know. We're moving soon. We're moving soon. Okay. We're getting the hell out of where we are. That's the other thing too. I've also been, busy with like trying to, um, get everything ready to move. So, but yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's been having a great week or so since the last time I saw you. Uh, it's been a little while. You were outside with Elroy all day. Oh, I love it. That makes me so happy. Hopefully, you give him one or two extra treats for me. I know he can't have too many, but maybe one. Maybe one. California Kane, hello. How are you? Good to see you. So yeah, today's kind of just a brainworms day, friends. It's one of those things where I've had some time to I've been forced by the universe to just chill, right? And I'm glad that happened, because, then you get to think. Um, and you get to like, I don't know. I feel like for me, when I'm forced to slow down, because I am like a workaholic, and I just go from like, 5 a.m. till like 10 at night, basically every day. So it kind of forced me to slow down. And I'm glad that it did, because it made me like reconnect with my like spirit, I guess you could say, or like, I don't know. Sometimes for me, it gives me clarity sometimes, right? So that's why I titled the live here. Um, the NSA and the ancestors saw you. Oh, it hurts to laugh, but I can't help it. Because when you really think about it, right, everything that happened here, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Apparently, the fucking state isn't even sure what happened, right? Meg P, beautiful Meg P, gifting memberships already off the rip here. 10 of you got gifted a membership, so make sure you say thank you to Meg P. How the hell do I get back to my comments? What's happening? Thank you so much, Meg P. Sorry, I'm trying to do this, and if you can't tell, I'm on my phone, friends. I'm on my phone. DKM, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, new members. Please make sure you say thank you, and thank you, beautiful Meg P. You never have to do that, honey. I hope you know that. I really do. Like Mercy Cat, beautiful Meg P. Like, I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, but thank you. I truly am so grateful for you. I hope you know that. So yeah, this last like week or so, right? It's given me some clarity. Okay, it's the NSA saw everything. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there, okay? The NSA saw everything. Okay, November 13th, 2022. Like all of these state actors and all of these, federal actors, and all of their, fiddly fucking around and all of their backdooring and all of their, lying by manipulation, lying by omission, whatever the case may be, all of the dirty, dirty, dirty deeds, right? Here's how I look at it. Here's my clarity. All of the dirty deeds were seen, right? It was all seen. Not only did the NSA see it, okay, the all fucking seeing eye, all right? The NSA saw everything, literally everything. Anybody who doesn't believe that they saw everything doesn't understand what the NSA does, doesn't understand their capabilities. Gen 7, what up, gangsta? How you doing, honey? So good to see you. 1984, hello, good morning. Stella, go ahead and do your makeup. It's like a get ready with me, right? Except you're getting ready and not me. We'll work with it. So in my opinion here, these are just my opinions, by the way, friends. Never ever listen to me. There are no facts here. I don't know shit. I'm just giving you my opinions and my brainworms, and some clarity that I've had over the last, week that I've been forced to do nothing. Except marinate in my own thoughts, and which is a good thing actually, because it puts me like I can kind of get realigned. Anybody else do that? Sometimes you just need to like go in hermit mode, um even if it means you're forced into hermit mode, to just kind of like a realign, right? Beckles, hello, how you doing? Should do a little sidebar here, right? My mods are the real MVPs. And also, I'm not going to name names. Kaibo, hello. But there's some asshole out there, right? Who likes to run their fucking mouth about my beautiful angel, Mercy Cat, right? And, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't like to call out people. I don't like to make my channel about calling out people. So I'm not going to use names today. But, if it happens again, I just have to put it out there. I will absolutely face fuck the person who thinks that they're gonna try to dog out my Mercy Cat or make fun of my beautiful angel Mercy Cat, talking about her, her accent or whatever, or her broken English, right? I will absolutely face fuck you. She speaks 5 fucking languages and has more intelligence in her fucking pinky finger than the person who likes to run their mouth about her. So I'm just throwing that out there. This person will probably know who they are without me even having to name them. But don't. Mercy Cat is fucking hands off, right? Hands off. You know nothing about her. You know nothing, literally nothing. And if you think you're going to say shit about her accent or her English, she speaks 5 fucking languages, bitch. You can barely speak one. Okay? So just don't come for my Mercy Cat, all right? Just wanted to get that out of the way. Love you so much, Mercy Cat. I will fucking maul a bitch. I'm just saying I will maul a bitch. I'll embarrass her so bad on these interwebs, and I don't want to do it. But I will do it. And I don't like to do it, and I don't want to do it. But I'm just throwing it out there that I will. I will embarrass this hoe, for real. So just saying, um, don't ever come for somebody else's English. Don't ever assume shit about anybody if they have some broken English, okay? That just means they probably speak more fucking languages than you and are probably a bit more educated, okay? So just throwing that out there. I know, Mercy Cat, but I just wanted to put that out there from me to you and from me to the universe. I'll fully embarrass this person if I hear of that again. Just throwing that out there. So back to the NSA. Beach Babe, Dana Lynn, hello. How are you? Welcome in, everyone. Annie Ruler. Try and check my chat before I go back into my thoughts, because once I go into my thoughts, if I look at my chat, I will forget what I'm talking about. Annie Ruler, you speak Spanglish? Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's always wild to me. Like, just because somebody has an accent or maybe their English isn't, I don't even understand what the fuck somebody would be talking about. Like, oh, that person can't even speak English. Like, yeah, bitch, because they speak more than one language. Are you high? What are you on? Lay off the fucking toilet meth. You know what I mean? Get your head out of OnlyFans, you know? Sometimes the reason somebody has broken English is because they speak more languages than you, and they can probably speak more languages better than you. So, I don't know. Either way. It's also, Mercy Cat is literally like an earth angel. Okay. So anybody going for someone like that, it just enrages me a little bit, because like actual earth angels, you don't go for them. You don't go for them. Right? And that's why I wanted to talk about like the NSA and the ancestors. Okay, because not only did the NSA see everything that happened on November 13th, 2022, the NSA has seen everything that's happened since in Idaho and Washington. Okay, so that's number one. Number one, the all-seeing eye saw everything. Okay, that's number one. We'll just get that out of the way. Anybody who doesn't understand that the NSA saw everything, I'm so very sorry if you don't understand what that means or how it happens and why. It's the NSA. They are literally the all-seeing eye, 24/7. Go ahead and figure it. Look at all the fucking cameras in the UK and in England and Britain, right? They can tap into cameras' live feeds 24/7. They're out there trying to catch pre-crime. Okay. If you think the NSA didn't see everything and hear everything, you're just not paying attention to what the NSA does and their capabilities. That's number one. Now, the one that I'd be more worried about, though, right, for the people of Idaho, those with the plots and the plans and the schemes, whichever side of the plot, whichever side of the scheme you may fall on, in this case, right? The people, what you really should be more worried about is the ancestors who saw you. Okay. Not just your own ancestors, not just your own, but the ancestors of the deceased, the ancestors of the person imprisoned, right? Because it doesn't matter what you think about like guilt or innocence or right. Those things are irrelevant. Our own opinions on things are irrelevant. Our own opinions of what happened in this case are irrelevant. The only thing that we can really go by is the forensic record, right? The experts in the case that did crime scene reconstruction, that did blood stain analysis. You can only go by their information and the limited information that we have from them currently. I'm waiting for, obviously, I want like the full reports. I want their full reports, like from Dr. Turby and Nodell and, Sutton, even the state's own expert for crime scene reconstruction and for bloodstain analysis. I want their experts' full disclosure as well, her full amended disclosure, as well as the disclosures from the defense's experts. But now, when I talk about um, ancestors, right? I truly mean that, because even if you don't have to be a religious person. It has nothing to do with religion. It all has to do with, if you are a person who believes that, you know, um, great grandparents and things like that, ancestors, their spirits, their stays with you, or maybe guides you, or things like that. If you are a spiritual person in any way, then you understand what I mean by the ancestors saw everything. And I also mean like everyone's ancestors. Okay. That's everyone. And those, in my opinion, those are the ones those are the ones you have to worry more about, in my opinion. Right. Those are the ones you have to worry more about, to be honest with you, is because they're the ones that are going to come for you when you least expect it. And it's all going to backfire and blow up in your face, right? Because here's how I look at it. Regardless of how Mr. Koberger is involved, right? The level of his involvement, what's going on here. Yes, he pled. Yes, he took a plea, right? And there's a part of me, I've said this for a while now, there's a part of me that believes him just like, it's like that motherfucker just woke up one morning and decided, actually, you know what? I'm getting off the hamster wheel. Right? That's kind of what it feels like to me. It feels like Mr. Koberger just woke up one day and said, actually, I'm taking myself off the hamster wheel. I'm removing myself. And actually, you know what? Please, a better idea, right? Allegedly, the defense is the one who went and asked about it. After Hitler, we know Hitler said, talk about your last final offers, blah, blah, blah. But I still get the feeling that like it was like the decision of Mr. Koberger to take that plea. And part of me thinks it's because it was his way of actually getting himself off of the fucking hamster wheel. And it looks like, in my opinion, when he took himself off that hamster wheel is when all of these other people that were kind of like coming against him, like their shit backfired. That's when it started to backfire. And the reason I think it backfired is because the people who should be fully accepting of the plea, fully prepared to be like, yep, finally, this motherfucker took his plea. We can now lay it all out. It'll be easy for everyone to see when we lay it all out, where this was going. And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. What happened is the opposite. He took his plea and all of their shit started to backfire in their face, where all of this evidence is coming out. All of these things are coming out. We're getting Dylan and Dylan only text messages. I don't even think that's the exhaustive list either. That's just texts. That's not Snapchats, Instagrams, nothing. Okay. It's almost like, he took himself off the hamster wheel. All of their shit started to backfire and these people started running around. That's just my opinion, right? They're running around saying a lot of shit, doing a lot of shit. They're doing these interviews with like media and stuff, and like, the detectives, the lead detectives, they have nothing. They're telling the media, I mean, we tried. Trust me, we tried to find a connection. And there just isn't one, right? There just isn't one. So, and then, I'm not dogging, Kaylee's parents or nothing, but even Steve, like Steve and Christy, they kind of seemed a little scrambly. They kind of seemed like they're like scrambling, after he took that plea. And like it feels like even the WSU lawsuit and all of that, it's like it's going to backfire. I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's like everything just started like backfire, one right after the other. You think by filing a lawsuit against WSU and trying to list him as like a witness or something, that's going to get you access to him. So let's not forget he stood silent the whole time. He's been stayed silent, right? Won't talk to any of them, right? Unless it's through his attorneys, right? So it's almost like, once he took that plea, it like cut off access. All of them were immediate. It's like cutting the head off the snake. It's like everybody involved no longer had access, right? And it, to me, it's just like everything started backfiring. And like there's a lot of stuff they can't account for. They can't explain it. They can't, yeah, no, I mean, we looked for the connection. There isn't one. We don't know how he knows these people. We don't know. They can't even say he was ever at the house. All they can say is that his phone pings showed he was in the area, that he utilized a tower that services Moscow. That's it. Not an actual location, right? Well, where's the location of the device when it's accessing that tower? When it's utilizing the tower that services King Road? Where's the location of the device? Because you know the location of the device. The NSA knows the location of the device. The FBI knows the location of the device. Right? So what's the actual location? They don't know. Nope. We don't know. We don't know the actual location of the phone. We just know that his phone was pinging off of this tower that, services King Street. It's like, what the fuck? Okay. But it's like one thing after the other for me. This is how I see it. Now, if I'm wrong, fine, I'm wrong. I have no problem being wrong. I'm just giving my opinions and my brainworms of what I'm seeing since this plea. Initially, I was like, damn. All right, well, I mean, he took the plea. What do you want me to do, I'm still waiting for docs. I'm still going to talk about the case, you know, especially when docs are coming out and things are getting unsealed. We're going to read through those, obviously. But I mean, like, really, for me, what else can I say about Mr. Koberger? You know, um, after he took the plea, it's really nothing I could do except, okay, here's where we got to try and assess what's happening here. And it seems like ever since he took that plea, a lot of shit has backfired, especially for the other people involved. And with respect to, the families and stuff, like if they want to try to sue WSU, I mean, it's their right. They could sue whoever they want. I don't know how WSU is responsible for whatever Mr. Koberger was doing at 2:00 in the morning off campus. I don't know how they would be in control of Mr. Koberger for any of that. Um, and him being, cloud-based forensics and all of that, and that seemed to be his area of study. I doubt highly that he was using the free internet given to him by WSU, to plot, plan, scheme a murder or anything like that, or, like, uh, I, I really don't think, especially with his level of intelligence for the cloud-based stuff, I just don't see it, right? Even if he was looking up some kind of like weird fetish porn or whatever the case may be, I don't think he's using the free internet from WSU to do it. I just a guess, right? You're not going to use something that it's all being stored in a fucking server somewhere in your campus, right? Because isn't that one of their claims? One of their claims against WSU is like all of this information would be in the servers if you just went and got the information from these servers because he was getting the free, internet or whatever. I think that was kind of like the gist of one of their claims in this lawsuit here is about those WSU servers. And that allegedly he would, that's where the proof of him plotting, scheming, and planning and all of his weird little, stuff would be, whatever his little fetishes are and shit. But, for me personally, it's all about, they saw everything, right? The NSA saw everything. The ancestors saw everything. That includes Mr. Koberger's ancestors. That includes all of the ancestors. That includes every ancestor, right? All of them. For the victims, for the families, the great grandparents, the great, 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 great grandparents, the aunties, the uncles, the cousins. Okay. All of them saw it. They all saw everything. Okay. And I got to tell you, at some point, the jig is up, right? At some point, the jig is up. I'm not I'm not going to sit here and pretend as though I know for a fact Mr. Koberger did or did not do something because I literally have no idea what he did or didn't do. I have no idea the people he met while he was out there. I have no idea the people he talked to while he was out there. And quite frankly, none of us do. Quite frankly, none of us do. Right. So I'm not going to pretend that I know for a fact anything. Can I tell you that like, I kind of feel, and I've always felt from the beginning, like, I don't know, doesn't feel right. Something don't feel right. It doesn't feel like, if it is him, it doesn't feel like it's just him. Right. And that's just kind of how I've always felt about it, and it would appear, even some of the experts tend to agree. Not one person, right? Not one person. Only he really knows. Only he truly knows what happened if he was somehow involved and or there and or entangled in some way, right? I guess only he would really know, and maybe he wouldn't really know. It like if someone set him up or something like that, right? Um, but to me, it's like I've always felt that somebody here, there's someone very intimately involved that is very well aware that eventually they're going to have to give up the ghost, right? They're going to have to give up the ghost. Especially when whatever's going on with Dylan, all right, I don't know if this girl can't take it no more. I don't know. I just get the feeling that whatever's going on with Dylan here, in the background, I have no idea why I feel this way, but I truly just feel like whatever's going on with that girl in the background, like she can't fucking take this shit no more. Uh, I don't know if she's ready to spill the beans, gonna spill the beans, already did spill the beans. I don't know what happened. I don't know who paused her GoFundMe, but I can't imagine that you got your aunt creating this GoFundMe for you or your whoever it was. I think it was her aunt trying to raise all this money for you because you got to relocate and you need serious therapy and you need X, Y, Z, and Z. And then all of a sudden that shit is just paused. But doesn't appear to be getting cashed out or anything like that. Right. And then it's kind of like this chain of events that's happening, like between the WSU lawsuit, then all of a sudden her GoFundMe gets paused. Then we get only her text messages released after months of not receiving records in the case. The only thing that gets released is her text messages. So That's why I'm of the opinion there's something else going on here with Dylan in the background. I don't know what that is. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Was the defense, Brian's team, able to, go ahead and find some new relevant admissible evidence? Were they able to speak to her, get her? I don't know. Okay. I'm just throwing shit out here. These are just my brain worms. It just feels like whatever's going on with her, to me, in my opinion, um, it's it's not going the way they thought. It would appear whatever's going on with Dylan, in my opinion, is quite likely to be very helpful to Mr. Koberger, in my opinion. Um, Maybe she just can't take it no more. Maybe she just can't take it no more. And she's like, I just gotta, I can't, it- you know, we already know prior to this incident, she already had crazy ass nightmares. She had horrible nightmares of being kidnapped, chased, etc. I can only imagine the kind of nightmare she's having now, you know? And I gotta say, there are people out there like, they, I know a lot of you think Dylan is like the actual culprit and shit like that. And, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm just throwing it out there that if she's not, that if she was like really fucked up, wasted on drugs, whatever the case may be, thought she was dreaming, thought it because of whatever the fuck she was on, and now she has some clarity of what really happened. And I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. It would appear whatever's going on with her, quite possibly may help him. Um, I don't know. I think it's interesting. They're trying to, in my opinion, use WSU as a means of attempting to get Mr. Koberger to talk. To me, that's the whole ploy. That's just my opinion. To me, the whole ploy for the I don't know why I feel that way now, because that's why, like I said, I've had like a week now to just kind of kick back and, um, just let some things marinate and try to get some clarity. And for me, it's like this whole WS lawsuit is actually it's to get him to talk, right? And that motherfucker ain't talking to you. He ain't gonna talk to you. Or if he does, maybe you don't want him to talk. Maybe him talking ain't gonna help you though. I'm just saying. Like, be careful what you wish for sometimes, because you just might get it, right? So it's like, I don't understand, that's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it feels to me like the whole point of this lawsuit is to get to him and to try to get him deposed and to try to be able to question him. That's just my opinion. Who's gifting memberships? Sorry. When I'm off talking, I'm trying not to look at my chat, guys, because then I lose my thoughts. Who's gifting memberships here? I see Meg P. Oh, beautiful Meg P. You also sent me a super sticker. Thank you so much for your super sticker, honey. You're amazing. I truly appreciate you. Who else? Mercy Cat. I should have known. Mercy Cat just gifted 10 more memberships, friends. If you turn green, please make sure you say thank you. Put a bunch of hearts in the chat. You have special emojis. If you're on your computer, feel free to use them. So yeah, guys, I don't know. These are just my brainworms here, okay? I just feel like the whole point of this is to get to Mr. Koberger. It's to get him to talk. Um, you know, I don't think he's going to. Jackie, hello. Moonlit Baby, hello. If I'm missing you in chat, I'm sorry. It's because I was looking out my window, pondering my own thoughts, talking, and I wasn't looking at my chat. Like the reason why, too, I feel like, maybe you don't want him to talk, right? Maybe you don't want him to talk. Are you sure you want him to talk? You know? Because I feel like if he was targeted, he was targeted specifically because of whatever he was doing out there. Whatever recommendations he went to them with at these police departments and whatever that he wanted to, help them kind of get up to speed with some of the stuff, their software and things like that, right? No, he was like turned away, which is interesting to me that it happens to be between these two campuses that he's actually going to them trying to, I don't want to say help, but like, because you guys remember Steve too talking about, oh, he thought he was smarter than everybody. He was going to come out here and, fucking teach these hillbillies, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to like the cloud-based forensic stuff, in criminal cases, that's actually what he was fucking really good at. So if he was trying to help you, it's interesting to me. It happens to be those two areas too that are like turning him away. Like, no, bitch, we don't want your help. Right? Interesting. We don't want your help. At the same time that, the Idaho State Police and Department of Homeland Security are conducting these undercover human trafficking stings, you have the Quad Cities Drug Task Force out committing fucking undercover trafficking stings left and right between these two states. And it's like all of a sudden these two areas don't want to upgrade or update or is very interesting. Very interesting. So I don't know. I know the NSA saw everything. That's what I do know. I do know the ancestors saw everything. I do know that all of the people in the background of this case, regardless of his involvement, all of the other people in the background that had to lie, cheat, backdoor, continue to lie, continue to perpetuate the false narrative of what really happened because they know what they're saying is false. Even the state knows most of what they claimed, they can't back it up. They can't. Stalking claim had to be thrown out. The state had to say there was no stalking, right? The state couldn't even, they have no way. They wouldn't have been able, even at trial, to solidify with proof their claims of the who, the what, the when, and the how, right? They had their theory. There's a difference between your theory and then the evidence that backs it. Circumstantial evidence to back your theory isn't really that good. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this bitch is so stupid. His DNA was on the sheath. Yeah, I know. I know his DNA was on the sheath. There's also two other fucking dudes' DNA on that sheath. There's two other dudes, right? Actual biological DNA on that sheath that according to them, oh, it's mixed and it was too low quality, low level for us to do anything with, right? Bullshit. If you can take his trace sample, okay, if the FBI can take his trace sample and fucking rip it through the quantum realm to identify it, all right, then you could have done the same with the others. You went so far as to isolate, you went so far as to know who's in the mix sample and how many contributors to the point that you have a male contributor. So you have two other male contributors on the sheath. Their DNA is mixed, right? But you want to claim that like, oh, no, it was too low quality. We couldn't do anything with it. While you also claim, hey, by the way, the alternate perpetrators, we were able to eliminate them from those samples. So how the fuck were you able to eliminate these other alternate perpetrators from these samples off the sheath that weren't Mr. Koberger if the samples were so low quality you couldn't do anything with them to identify them? Meanwhile, you're sending off this singular source trace sample, and that's why they did that. Because the FBI, to my knowledge, the FBI will only take a single source sample. They won't take a mixed. So they basically went with the only single source sample they had off that sheet. Okay. The rest of it is mixed. So that's exactly why they did it the way they did it, because the FBI will only work with single source. And if the FBI will only work with single source, then you can't send them the other mixed samples off the sheet, right? Problem that I have with it is that whatever Idaho State Police did, the lab did with those mixed samples, they went so far as to know precisely the amount of contributors, and that one is male. So they took it that far that they know the contributors are this unidentified male, and I believe the two girls upstairs, if I remember correctly. Obviously, I don't have docs in front of me right now. I'm just going off brainworms. But it's interesting to me that they'll put the DNA, the single source DNA, they literally went and hopped into the quantum realm to identify that shit. ISP definitely had the capability to be able to isolate that male from those other samples on the sheath and multiply it, amplify it. They could have absolutely isolated those males and done amplification. Never mind this. It was too low level. What? Seriously? Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. It wasn't too low level. Wasn't so low quantity that you couldn't amplify. You know, Becca, thank you. I'm not on the mend, honey. I'm trying to be, but thank you so very much. Let me come back over to my chat. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too far off into the weeds. The main point of my live today was just to kind of remind everybody in Idaho, that not only did the NSA see everything and hear everything, right? The ancestors did. They did. They saw it all. They heard it all. They've seen every dirty deed that you've done behind the scenes. They've seen every back door. They saw every smoky back room, dark corner, making dirty deals. They saw it all. And I will tell you guys, I truly believe, I'm hoping that it's not true. I'm hoping that what I think is wrong, and I'm hoping that my gut feeling is wrong. But I just get the feeling that it's like a bunch of rats, right? And they're all scurrying to try to get off the sinking ship as the water's coming in. And they're willing to do anything. They're willing to do anything to make sure that the light eventually is not shined upon them and the role that they played. So, that's just my opinion. Eventually, it's all going to come into the light, and there are going to be, in my opinion, some people who spent a lot of their time, pointing one finger, and when the light is finally shown on them, they're going to have some fingers pointing back at them. And they're not going to like the questions that the public is going to have for them. And that's just my opinion. And there's, it's my opinion. It's a couple few very select people that they are going to have to answer for it, in all dimensions, right? Everything that they did. They're going to have to answer for it in every dimension, in every timeline. It's all going to have to be answered for. And, it is what it is. I feel bad for them. I do. I feel bad for them. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for them because, just because you have, hate, trauma, whatever the case may be, if you choose to live your life in hatred, and that's what you want to project onto everybody else is hatred, 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 eventually it comes back. It comes back, right? And maybe you spent too much of your time hating throwing your hate in the wrong places, right? Um, so, that's just how I feel about that. There's a lot that's going to come back. And some people are going to be really embarrassed. And maybe some people are even going to, probably be in a lot of trouble, actually, for some of the moves that they made here. Um, fabricating evidence, fabricating things to be able to use them in the court record. That's it's crazy you think that won't eventually be caught. But okay, AIing shit to submit to the court, to submit to the state as part of for the state to use as evidence, and maybe it was fabricated and or AI'd. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, right? Before it's all going to be gone through with a fine tooth comb. Especially with the team of people that the defense put together. You know, I understand they played it up a lot, like, oh, we just don't have time to go through it all. But the team that they had was very proficient and very capable on finding exactly what they needed and looking at exactly what they needed to look at and looking at the exact people they needed to be looking at. That's the other thing, you know? These are very capable people. I know there's a lot of other people out there. They love to trash like Ray and Dr. Turvey. And, it's fine. Let them. Let them. It's funny that they feel the need to do that. It's funny they feel the need to talk about people like Dr. Turvey. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Turvey literally, I don't know, it's just funny too, because like the bitches that were talking about Dr. Turvey, what cracks me up is like, these are people who their career only went like to one point and then no further, right? They never actually did anything else. And now they basically just spend most of their time on the internet, either TikTok or YouTube, or OnlyFans. That's where they spend their fucking time. Most of their time is making content for that shit, right? And they're out here trashing Dr. Turvey. Meanwhile, like, go look up that man's CV. Go look up his experience. This motherfucker runs an entire department, okay, that all has to do with like femicide and stuff like that out in the UAE, because like honor killing and killing women is such a fucking problem out there, okay? The killing of women by their own family members is such a huge problem in portions of the Middle East that's like a lot of what he works on out there. Femicide and trafficking. Right? And you're going to talk shit about him, huh? What the fuck are you doing to help a victim of trafficking or femicide? What are you doing? While you're out here talking shit about him, right? What are you doing? Same goes for like, same goes for, Ray. People talking shit about Ray, go look at his background, go look at his CV. This motherfucker literally embedded himself in with the military, had to grow a beard and wear like a hijab and shit over his head out in the damn desert, using his radio frequency identification fucking software to find IEDs in the desert so our troops wouldn't get blown up. Meanwhile, you got this bitch from OnlyFans running her mouth about Ray. Know what I mean? Like, come on. Are you serious? The wannabe fucking lawyer, the wannabe fucking lawyer bootlicker for the state of Idaho is out here running their mouth about Ray. Meanwhile, Ray, literally, are you high? Are you high? He's been fucking doing everything he can do to save troops, rescue trafficking victims, rescue fucking kidnapped children. That's what he spent his whole career doing, and you're out here running your fucking mouth about him, making porn for money. Just stop. Okay, I'm sick of these bitches. I'm sick of listening to them. I really am. Like, it's one thing, okay, when you have like expert versus expert or something like that. But I'm not going to listen to some, fucking YouTube creator, TikToker telling me, what a loser Cy Ray is and what a loser Dr. Turby is when it's show me when you rescued a child. Okay, bitches, all of you that like to run your mouth about these experts for the defense. If they said everything that they said, but they said it for the state, you'd be licking their fucking ball sack. And we all know that. And that's a fact. That's a fact. All the same people that talk shit on the defense's experts are the same people who every time those experts testified for the state to prosecute someone, they lick their fucking taint. Okay? So that's just how I know they're hypocrites. They're nothing but hypocrites. Okay? That's all they are. Hypocritical ass bitches, right? Because they'll come out here and they'll talk shit. But if that expert was speaking for Bill Thompson and agreeing with Bill Thompson and agreeing with Jeff Nye, if Dr. Turby had sided with the state, they'd be literally throwing it. You would have never heard the end of it. They would have been reading you his affidavit, his declaration live. If everything he said was for the state, if everything Cy Ray said was against the defense. Think about Cy Ray's declaration in his affidavit and what he said, right? About all of the missteps, all of the missing information, the lack of an actual investigation. Had he said that about the defense and sided with the state, these people would have been putting him up on a pedestal. They would have been reading you. They'd be still citing his affidavit till this day as proof of Kohberger's guilt. Same with Dr. Turby. They would be citing their declarations till this day as evidence of, do you get what I'm saying? It's fucking wild, man. It's fucking wild. So it's just always been, that to me just is how you know they're a hypocrite, right? It's also how I know that eventually they're going to have to eat their words. Because if you think people like Dr. Turby, Cy Ray, these experts for the defense who have all of now the entirety of the true crime interwebs, right? You have half who are for, half who are against. But now I've noticed what they're doing is like mainstream media will try and drag in the experts that they have connects to, trying to get them to like talk bad about these defense experts. And a lot of them aren't on they're not doing it. Right. Notice, they're not so quick to go up against Cy Ray and Dr. Turby openly, on like a news segment or anything like that. Oh, hey, can you go over? We got this amended disclosure. It's, we're seeing, references to autopsies and the defense's expert is saying this, but the state's expert is saying this. And, we're asking you, criminal profiler, so-and-so, what's your opinion? And they will not do it. They're not going up against Dr. Turby. They're not going up against Cy Ray openly on these major mainstream media like platforms. I noticed that. I noticed a lot of people just kind of went, shush all of a sudden. Seems like a lot of people all of a sudden just went shush, right? It's like, I don't know. So, I mean, it is gross, California King. You're right, what I said. Yeah, ball sack attack, I know. But it's true, though. They would be licking his ball sack, man. They would. They'd be like, oh my God, did you see what the defense's own expert conceded with the state's expert that X, Y, and Z is blah, 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 right? Or if Dr. Turby had been hired by the state to do crime scene reconstruction and Dr. Turby came out and said, yeah, no, actually, it's only him and this is exactly how this motherfucker did it. We'd never hear the end of it. See, this guy with all of these credentials who has all of this experience that the state hired said this is exactly how it happened and he reconstructed it to back it. That's the point that I'm getting at. The state's own expert wouldn't have been able to reconstruct the crime scene according to the state's own theory and make it make sense. Wouldn't have been able to do it forensically, right? Because the state's own expert, Sutton here, was saying, well, yeah, I mean, obviously, Mr. Kohberger was attempting to clean up. That's why you have a lot of these diluted samples all over that living room and half wall and the wall leading downstairs. Really, no. It's the perpetrator, huh? So the perpetrator is attempting to do cleanup. Interesting. How come there's no diluted blood samples for two of the victims then? How come the diluted samples are only for the two victims upstairs? If your perpetrator is, if there's only one perpetrator and that perpetrator is cleaning whatever they're doing to try and dilute this blood, right? Where's the blood for Ethan and Xana? It should be mixed in with all of the other diluted stains. And by the state's experts' own admission, there is none of Ethan and Xana's blood, allegedly, anywhere else in those diluted samples. There's only one undiluted sample of blood in the middle of all of the diluted samples. And it belongs to Ethan as the major contributor, but it's mixed. And it doesn't say who it's mixed with or how many. So even if the state's own expert, if you were attempting to recreate this crime scene with one perpetrator, you have to be able to reconstruct it, showing not only that this person is cleaning up, but how are they managing not to get any of the last two victims' blood anywhere as they're doing the cleaning. They're only leaving mixed samples of the two upstairs. And yet they also managed to leave Ethan's actual blood in the middle of all of the diluted blood. And it's mixed with someone else's or other people's. It doesn't say in Sutton's thing how many contributors are to that sample that Ethan is the major contributor of. It doesn't say how many contributors and who they are, which I think is very important. Who is his blood mixed with? Is it mixed with the three girls? Is it mixed with just Xana's? Is it mixed with just Maddie's? Is it mixed with just Kaylee's? Is it Ethan's and a perpetrator? It's very important to know if you are looking at a crime scene forensically, you're looking at bloodstain analysis, and the area that you're looking at, it is littered in nothing but diluted stains. And smack in the middle of all of those diluted stains, there is this singular blood sample that is mixed. And it belongs to one of your victims who is the major contributor, and they don't say who else. How are you going to reconstruct that it's the perpetrator's cleanup? Do you understand what I'm saying? How are you going to reconstruct that you can attribute that specific area and those specific stains to the perpetrator cleaning? I don't know how they plan to go about with that. Because we can all be off in our own little, rabbit holes and tunnels and all that bullshit of what we think about this case. But really what it comes down to is the forensics, because the forensics doesn't lie and the blood doesn't lie. And I've been saying this for a very, very, very long time. Okay. The blood does not lie. It is what it is. And I don't know, maybe there's a perfectly good, reasonable explanation. I just don't know how they were going to get to that and attribute it to a singular perpetrator who's doing cleaning. Because if you're the state's expert, again, Sutton wasn't given access to the home, obviously. I don't think she ever went into the house, or when she finally did get into the house, all of the blood and everything had already been cleaned up anyway. So she could only go by photographs, and then finds out later on, which is why she had to amend her disclosure with retractions, because she finds out after she gives her initial disclosure, oh, well, wait, actually, we have some questions. And that's when Nodell and Turvey come back with their stuff. And she has to amend her disclosure, her amended rebuttal disclosure. She has to fix that with retractions because actually, yeah, if the defense's expert is right about what they're saying, then I will have to concede with them because I was unaware there was a renumbering system utilized for the samples. So her initial disclosure is going by the initial numbering system. And then she's giving this disclosure. No one from the state has told her, by the way, actually, our lead detective from Moscow renumbered everything. So you're going to need to go by his renumbering system when you're coming to your conclusions. That's why she had to amend her shit and retract. So I don't know how she was going to reconstruct that to get to a point where one singular perpetrator has killed the two people upstairs, has left no visible footwear pattern as to how they left that room upstairs, got downstairs, okay, attacked Ethan and Xana. We saw Ethan and Xana's room. We saw all that blood and what that room looked like, and she's going to have to reconstruct how they got out of that room, leaving no footwear transfer stains, and also attempted cleanup to where they only left blood stains for the two victims upstairs that are diluted and no diluted blood stains for the two final victims that they just killed last prior to doing the cleanup. Right? I'm going with the state here. Cool. It's Koberger. Fine, state. Fine, Sutton. Fine, state's experts. Cool. It's him. Show me. Show me how he was able to kill those two last, have that much blood everywhere. He's cleaning up, but he's only leaving diluted samples for the two upstairs. How? Recreate it. That's where my brain's at. Recreate it. Okay? That's where my brain's at, like the forensics aspect of it. How would you recreate a singular perpetrator doing cleanup? He's covered in 4 victims' blood. If he's managing to leave diluted blood stains for Kaylee and Maddie all over that fucking living room, how is he not leaving diluted blood stains for Xana and Ethan also all over the same area? How? We know he didn't strip because Dylan saw someone in all black clothes and a black mask. Her initial report was like black long sleeve shirt, black pants, black boots, right? Black mask. I just don't know how, if you're, how whoever it is doing the cleanup is only leaving diluted samples for the two upstairs and none for the two downstairs. And it would appear the only sample for the two downstairs that are outside of Xana's room is undiluted. And the major contributor is Ethan. So it's Ethan's blood mixed with someone else's, smack in the middle of all of these diluted samples. And the diluted samples only belong to Kaylee and Maddie. Okay? So I don't know, guys. I don't know. All I know is the ancestors saw everything, and so did the NSA. So Idaho, count your fucking days, man, because it's coming. In my opinion, it's coming. It's coming very soon. Someone expected to get very, very fucking rich here, and they're not going to. And it's all going to backfire in their face. And that's just my opinion. Mercy Cat, Meg P, Thank you so much for gifting memberships today. You're fucking amazing. Mercy Cat, I love you. And I promise you in a couple more days, I will be allowed to do more stuff. I'm going to get to the post office. The package that I have for you is sitting there, just sitting there, and I'm staring at it every day, feeling absolutely awful that I'm fucking useless and can't do anything. So I will get to the post office. I will send you your package that is for you and Elroy. There is something very special in there for the both of you. And I love you so much. And I truly, truly appreciate you. Miss Mommy, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. I hope everybody goes and has a wonderful, wonderful day. Okay. Meg P, thank you so much for your super sticker. Okay. I had to go get myself a coffee this morning because I had no more Nespresso pods. So that was the only thing that I've done so far today. I drove to Starbucks and then I sat here and did this live. But I don't care. I'm getting to the post office for my Mercy Cat because I have this package that's just sitting and I need to get it to her. No worries, she says. Thank you. No, I am worried, darling. I am worried. This thing's been sitting in my house now for like 2 weeks. So thank you everybody for chilling with me. Again, never listen to anything I say. Okay. Don't listen to me. No facts here. These are just my opinions. These are just my brainworms. Okay. I've got a little bit longer that I'm going to be, all over the road here. I don't have really much of a set schedule right now. We're moving soon. I got a lot going on and I'm still trying to like fully heal up, and I set myself back. Because I didn't take enough time to heal. It's my own fault. I'm a very go, go, go person. And I, unfortunately gave myself an extra little health setback, but it's fine. It's nothing major. It's fine. It's just kind of put me down for the count for a little bit again. So, but we'll be back soon. Okay. We will be back soon. And once we are back in action here, friends, hopefully it's going to be no longer from my phone. We're going to be at the new place. We're going to be with a whole new view, a whole new scenery, a whole new everything. And I'm taking you guys on the journey of my new beginning. Okay. We're going to take you on that journey. So it's coming soon, friends. Stay tuned. And Idaho, count your fucking days, man. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.